Yeah, let's go across straight to yet another one of our special guests. Shashi Tharoor, Congress leader and MP, joins us. Thanks very much, Shashi, for being here on the show with us. We've all got our dictionaries ready, by the way, so feel free to take wing. But sorry, jokes apart.
I'll give you simple words like thumping and resounding instead.
Right. So, Shashi Tharoor, you know, there's a glass half empty argument to be made with these results and a glass half full. So, the glass half empty argument is that you could have done much better. Madhya Pradesh certainly was a state for the taking. You didn't have to take it so fine. Glass half full, of course, is that you are within a shooting distance of making it a 3-0 win in the Hindi heartland. Which one are you going to choose?
Obviously the latter, and I think it's much more than half full, Pranoy, because I think if even a couple of months ago we had been offered a straightforward 3-0 result, we would have been absolutely over the moon. I think partially some of this anticlimax coming out of your discussions is because of the heightened expectations as a result of a very effective campaign led by Rahul Gandhi for the Congress. I think that in fact 3 states in the Hindi heartland is more than we could have dared hope for. Some of the optimistic predictions are saying we'll win Rajasthan, we'll win one of the other 2. Now it looks like we won all 3. Right. And I must say that it's a very clear message to Mr. Modi and the BJP from the voters of the Hindi heartland. And I believe the same message will resonate in other states across the country.
Shashi, that was actually Vasu Srinivasan Jain, but I'm now going to hand over to the real deal, Pranoy.
Thank you very much, Shashi. I was quite flattered by that, being mistaken for Vasu. But do you understand, or do you think there is a difference between a local leader and the oratory and the grip that a Prime Minister like Mr. Modi has on the people, and will that make a difference in the Lok Sabha election, and how will you tackle that?
Look, we certainly don't doubt that he's a very fine orator, very impressive orator, but we certainly have also seen that people have begun to see through his oratory. There's a sense that you can be very impressed by his speech, you can believe the conviction of the speaker, but when it turns out the promises he makes are actually empty promises, that the commitments are not being delivered upon, that the package he sells you is empty, how many times will you pay for an empty package? I think any young person in the Hindi heartland who expected that crores of jobs would be tumbling out of the BJP government thanks to Mr. Modi's soaring oratory, and who still doesn't have a job, has no reason to vote for Mr. Modi 5 years later. I think any farmer who has bought into the soaring oratory but is suffering horrendous problems, especially when crops fail and debts are horrendous, prices are dropping out of the bottom of the market. At that point, the farmer isn't going to be impressed by a speech. He's going to worry about who's going to waive his debts, who's going to give him a decent life.
Right.
I think the BJP has failed on all fronts, and this is precisely what the voters have woken up to.
Okay. But Shashi, let me just ask you, something about, and this is absolutely the last question to you. Since you're an evangelist for this Congress's Hindutva than thou repositioning that we're seeing, we had someone on one of our shows earlier on who said that this has actually helped the Congress in this election. The fact that it's, in a sense, batting out of the crease when it comes to playing the Hindu card. Would you agree?
Well, there's a difference between Hinduism and Hindutva, and we're hammering away at that. We're stressing that we are, many of us are Hindu, just as we have very many good Muslims and good Christians in our ranks as well, and good Parsis and good Sikhs for that matter. The point is that we are free to practice our own faiths. We certainly don't want to cede to the BJP a monopoly of claiming to speak for true Hindu beliefs and Hindu interests. What we are saying is that we are good Hindus, but Hindutva is actually anti-Hindu, because it actually is a political doctrine that fundamentally moves away from the inclusive nature of Hinduism. that inclusiveness is part of the Congress's DNA. It was there during the freedom struggle,
Right.
when the Congress rejected the idea of Pakistan, rejected the idea that religion should be the determinant of nationhood, and it remains part of the Congress's fundamental approach to these elections and to any future elections, that we want to neutralize the BJP's false claim that they are the only authentic voice for the interests of Hindu voters. We stand for everyone, Hindus and others.
Shashi Tharoor, thank you very much indeed. I know you're in a hurry. Thank you very much for taking the time out to
Thank you,
chat
Prannoy.
with us.